I want to start with a truth no one wants to talk about. After 60, bladder leaks become more common than gray hair, but almost nobody is told why it's happening or how to reverse it. The real cause? It's not just aging. It's muscle weakening in one place most people never think to strengthen until they're running to the bathroom or avoiding social outings. But here's the good news. You can take control again. And thousands of seniors are doing it naturally, from home, in just minutes a day. You've probably heard it 100 times. Bladder problems are just part of getting older. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't cause bladder leaks. What does cause them is something you can change. The real issue? It's the quiet weakening of a group of muscles most people never train. Your pelvic floor. These muscles act like a hammock, supporting your bladder, urethra, and other organs. And just like leg muscles or arm muscles, they shrink and weaken without proper use. Now combine that with years of poor posture, chronic sitting, low core strength, and even hormonal shifts, especially after menopause or prostate changes, and suddenly that hammock starts sagging. The result? Less support for the bladder and less control over those sudden urges. But here's the kicker. It's not just about strength. It's about timing. A strong pelvic floor still won't help if it doesn't fire at the right moment. That means even people who exercise their pelvic floor may still have leaks, if the muscle coordination is off. This explains why so many seniors feel frustrated. They're told to do Kegels, they try, and nothing happens. The leaks continue, the urgency hits at random, and confidence slowly crumbles. But here's the good news. This decline isn't permanent. Your bladder isn't broken. Your body hasn't betrayed you. What's really going on is a communication breakdown between your brain, your bladder, and your pelvic floor. And communication, just like strength, can be restored. We've seen 70-year-olds who had been leaking for years completely reverse it, not with pills, pads, or surgery, but by retraining their pelvic floor and restoring proper timing using natural techniques. And that's what we're going to show you next. Let's talk about what no one's telling you. The everyday habits that silently weaken your bladder control. Most seniors think incontinence just happens, like a switch that flips after a certain age. But in reality, it's more like a slow leak caused by things you're doing every day without realizing the damage. The first one? Hovering over public toilets. It sounds like a small thing, but it creates a massive ripple effect. When you hover instead of sitting fully, your pelvic floor muscles can't relax properly, so they don't contract properly either. It trains your brain to pee in a rush, under tension, with poor coordination, and over time, that rush becomes the new normal. The result? A bladder that panics, leaks, or refuses to hold, even when it's not full. Second, not drinking enough water. Yes, really. Many people cut back on fluids to avoid the embarrassment of leaks. But this backfires, because concentrated urine irritates the bladder lining, making it more reactive. It starts sending urgent signals even when it's barely half full. Plus, chronic dehydration stiffens the bladder walls and weakens pelvic floor tone, so less water leads to more leaks, not less. And the third habit? Clenching your stomach all day. It happens subconsciously. You suck in your belly for posture, to hide a little weight, or just out of habit. But this overactivates your abdominal muscles and puts downward pressure on your bladder. It also shuts off your pelvic floor, the very muscle you need to contract when leaks start. So instead of lifting and supporting, your body starts pushing and straining, right when you need control the most. The good news? Each of these habits can be reversed in days. The moment you start sitting properly, hydrating smartly, and letting your core relax, your pelvic floor finally gets a chance to do its job. And when you combine that with what's coming next, the natural, science-backed strategies to retrain your bladder and rebuild coordination, you'll understand why so many seniors are finally taking control, even after years of frustration. Here's the part no one tells you. You don't need hours at the gym or expensive equipment to fix bladder leaks. In fact, you don't even need to leave your house. All it takes is 5 minutes a day and a shift in how you train one forgotten group of muscles. We're talking about your pelvic floor, the muscles that sit at the base of your pelvis and wrap around your urethra. They're responsible for that reflex you feel when you try to stop your urine midstream. But after 60, they start losing tone, unless you retrain them to fire properly. And it starts with what's called neuromuscular re-education, basically teaching the muscle to turn on again at the right moment. Here's how the reset works. Start by sitting tall in a chair, feet flat, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in through your nose, expanding your belly, not your chest. Now, as you slowly exhale, gently contract your pelvic floor. It's the same motion you'd use if you were trying to stop yourself from passing gas or stopping urine midstream. Hold for 5 seconds. Release for 5 seconds. That's it. 1 contraction, 1 release, that's 1 rep. Aim for 10 reps once or twice a day, morning and night. It's not about brute strength, it's about timing and control. And just like any muscle, your pelvic floor responds best when trained consistently, not forcefully. Now here's where most people go wrong. They start squeezing everything at once, the thighs, the butt, the abs. But your pelvic floor is subtle. If you're clenching your whole body, you're training the wrong muscles. So less is more. Slow, precise, and focused. That's how the signal reconnects. And don't stop there. Add coordination training during the day. When you laugh, cough, or lift something, practice a gentle pelvic floor contraction just beforehand. It's called the knack, and it's one of the most powerful habits you can build. It trains your bladder to expect support, not stress, when pressure hits. Most seniors see improvement in 2 to 3 weeks, some in days. And when you pair this with the next layer, nighttime support to stop the bladder from waking you up, you'll be shocked at how quickly confidence returns. Because this isn't about managing symptoms. It's about rebuilding control from the inside out. It's 3 a.m. Again. You're wide awake. Not from a nightmare or a noise, but because your bladder decided it's time for a bathroom run. For millions of seniors, this isn't an occasional annoyance. It's a nightly ritual. But here's the truth. Waking up to pee in the middle of the night is not inevitable. It's not normal. And it's definitely not something you have to live with. Let's talk about what's really going on. Most people think nighttime peeing is caused by drinking too much water before bed, so they stop drinking after 6 p.m., thinking it'll solve the problem. But what actually happens? The body gets dehydrated, the urine becomes more concentrated, and the bladder becomes more irritated, not less. The result? Even a tiny bit of fluid triggers the urge to empty. Now add in age-related hormonal shifts, like the natural decline in vasopressin, a hormone that helps the kidneys slow urine production overnight, and you've got a recipe for broken sleep. And here's the kicker. If your pelvic floor is weak or your bladder is misfiring, it won't wait until morning. It sends panic signals at 2 or 3 a.m., waking you up just in case. But this can be retrained. First, smart hydration. Instead of cutting fluids entirely, shift your water intake earlier in the day. Front-load your hydration. Drink more between morning and mid-afternoon, then gradually taper off. You're still hydrated, but your kidneys have had time to filter it all before bed. Second, mineral support. A light dose of magnesium glycinate or potassium citrate in the evening, under doctor supervision, can help relax the bladder muscles, reduce spasms, and calm the nervous system. Some seniors see fewer nighttime urges just from balancing electrolytes alone. Third, pre-bed pelvic floor priming. That same contraction technique you practiced earlier, do it again 30 minutes before bed. 10 reps. Breathe. Focus. This sends a message to your nervous system. I'm in control. It builds a buffer against those random overnight signals. And finally, consider your sleep posture. Sleeping on your back can shift bladder pressure downward. Try side sleeping with a pillow between your knees to take the pressure off and allow your core and pelvic floor to relax properly. Now, does all this mean you'll never need to pee at night again? Not necessarily. Some nights your body may still nudge you, but what changes is the urgency, frequency, and impact. Instead of 2 or 3 wake-ups, you may sleep through till dawn, or just wake once and drift back easily. And for many, that's life-changing. Because the real goal isn't to chase perfect, it's to reclaim control. And when you stack these small strategies together, night after night, your bladder relearns a new rhythm, one that lets you sleep deeply, move confidently, and finally trust your body again. Let's get one thing clear. Your bladder doesn't just respond to exercise. It responds to everything you eat, drink, and do throughout the day. Think of it like a sensitive instrument, one that gets calmer and stronger when your whole lifestyle supports it. That's the heart of the anti-leak lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's not a chore. It's a series of smart choices that train your bladder to behave and your body to stay dry. Let's start with food. Some foods are irritants, substances that aggravate the bladder lining and trigger urgency. These include spicy foods, acidic fruits like oranges and tomatoes, vinegar-heavy dressings, and even chocolate. Yes, chocolate. It contains caffeine and theobromine, 2 compounds that stimulate the bladder just like coffee does. Now, we're not saying to never eat these again, but if you're having frequent urges or leaks, try cutting back for 7 days. Most people notice a difference within the week. Next, let's talk about drinks. The biggest culprits: coffee, soda, and alcohol. All 3 act as diuretics. They tell your kidneys to produce more urine faster, whether your bladder is ready or not. Worse, they dehydrate you, which concentrates urine and makes things even more uncomfortable. So what's the bladder-friendly swap? Try warm, non-caffeinated herbal teas like chamomile or marshmallow root. These soothe the bladder wall and support calm muscle tone. Add in filtered water throughout the day, not chugging all at once, but sipping every hour or 2 to keep things moving smoothly. Now on to your daily rhythm. This might surprise you. One of the worst things you can do for your bladder is just-in-case peeing. You know the drill: using the bathroom before you leave the house, before a meeting, before anything, even when you don't actually feel the urge. It trains your bladder to expect emptying before it's full. Over time, this shrinks your bladder's capacity and makes it more sensitive. Instead, aim to go only when you feel a genuine urge. And when you do, don't rush. Sit tall, breathe, let your pelvic floor relax. Rushing trains your nervous system to pee under tension, which leads to poor muscle coordination and more leaks down the road. Finally, take your bladder on a walk, literally. Daily walking improves blood flow, strengthens pelvic and core muscles, and helps your body process fluid more efficiently. Even 15-20 minutes a day can make a difference in how often you go, how urgently you feel the need, and how well your body holds control. These aren't big changes, but together they create a body and bladder that are better aligned, more tone, more trust, more control. That's the anti-leak lifestyle. And coming up next, we bring it all together with the Nighttime Confidence Protocol, your simple, powerful routine to sleep through the night without worry. By now, you've seen the pieces come together: hydration timing, pelvic floor coordination, bladder-safe foods, and daily movement. But nighttime, that's where most people still struggle. The 3 a.m. wake-ups, the fear of leaks, the subtle panic that creeps in before bed. That's where the Nighttime Confidence Protocol changes everything. This isn't just about sleep. It's about restoring trust in your own body. And the process starts an hour before your head hits the pillow. Here's how it works. About 60 minutes before bed, finish your final glass of water. You don't need to dehydrate yourself, but you do need to give your body enough time to filter and balance fluids before you lie down. This 1-hour window reduces pressure on your bladder just in time for sleep. Next, check your last meal or snack. Keep it small, calm, and bladder-friendly. A scoop of Greek yogurt with ground flax or a slice of toast with almond butter. Not acidic, not spicy, not sugary. And if your doctor approves, a low-dose magnesium glycinate supplement can help relax smooth muscle and support deeper sleep. Now, let's prime the pelvic floor. Sit comfortably. Breathe deeply. Perform 5 to 10 gentle pelvic floor contractions, just like you practiced earlier. These aren't strength moves. They're reminders to your nervous system that you're in control. Think of it like flossing for your bladder. One tiny habit that prevents bigger problems later. After that, take a short, wind-down walk. Not a workout, just 5 to 10 minutes of relaxed movement around your home. This helps shift fluids away from the lower body and prevents sudden pressure buildup once you lie down. Finally, prepare your sleep space. Sleep on your side if possible, with a pillow between your knees. This reduces abdominal pressure and supports a more neutral pelvic position. And make sure your bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet, because deeper sleep supports better hormonal balance, including bladder-regulating hormones like vasopressin. It's not about perfection. It's about patterning. You're teaching your bladder and your brain that sleep is safe, stable, and under control. Most seniors who follow this protocol notice results within the first week. Fewer wake-ups, longer stretches of deep sleep, a new sense of confidence, and once your body starts trusting the routine, the transformation becomes automatic. Less stress, less leakage, more peace of mind. But it all hinges on one thing: consistency. Because the small things you do every night, they become the big wins you feel every morning. And in the final section, we'll reveal why sticking with it now matters far more than most people realize, especially if you want to stay strong, independent, and leak-free for years to come. Let's zoom out for a moment. When most people think about bladder leaks after 60, they assume it's too late to fix it, too late to feel in control again, too late to trust their body. But that belief, it's the biggest barrier of all, because the truth is, the body is always listening, at 60, 70, even 85. And it doesn't take a perfect routine or a dramatic lifestyle change to get results. Sometimes it just takes 60 seconds of a new decision and the courage to repeat it tomorrow. You've seen how the pieces fit together, how one tiny shift in breathing, posture, or hydration can ripple outward, how muscle coordination can return, how sleep can become restful again, and how your confidence can be rebuilt, step by step, contraction by contraction, night after night. So here's your moment. Before you brush your teeth tonight, before you reach for that glass of water or pull up the covers, take 60 seconds. Sit down, breathe deep, and do one round of pelvic floor activation. That single action tells your nervous system, we're changing the pattern now. Because this isn't just about staying dry. It's about walking into your 70s, 80s, and 90s with confidence, control, and dignity. It's about laughing without fear, sleeping through the night, leaving the house without packing a pad, just in case. It's about freedom. And the choice to reclaim that freedom doesn't live in some pill bottle or doctor's office. It lives in what you do tonight, and again tomorrow, and again the next day. That's the 60-second shift. And it's how thousands of seniors have quietly taken back control, without surgery, medication, or shame. So now the only question left is, will you be one of them?